Good morning, good morning, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on whether you are watching this live right now or on catch up. Welcome to the People's Health Alliance Wellbeing Wednesday on the 8th of November 2023. Last night actually was True Samhain, so I just hope that you all were able to connect with your ancestors. Today we're having open discussions and talking about sleep, hence the reason I'm in my bed. So I thought it was a good place to start. We've got some exercise for you. I see that I was just about to go to June, but she's disappeared. So yes, I shall welcome Maureen to talk about sleep or whatever it is we're going to be talking about today.
Good morning, everybody. As we know, sleep is not only vital, but it's really complex because every night's sleep is unique and different. Even if it feels the same, it's unique and different. And every morning we wake up and there's a wide variety of ways and states that we can wake up in. And for a lot of people, it's so easy to get into a habit, a bad habit, or even a good habit. So scientifically, as a human system, if we can fall into a bad habit easily, then we should be opening our minds to the possibility that we can fall into a good habit easily too, if we look at kind of like us being as a scientific system. But often we're led to believe, oh no, and we're on doom. So we want to look at sleep, understanding how vital it is, but then taking power and control and using it and recognizing that the challenges, because everybody has different challenges, maybe at different times as well. So it could be going through troubled times, you can't switch the mind off. It could be that you're working so stressed, or you're working on shifts. People that work on shifts, I absolutely applaud, because it must be so challenging to get into habits, and some do and some don't. And so we can think about, okay, the ones that adapt and get into habits that work and allow them a healthy experience through those shifts, then what is it that they're doing, and can we copy it? Basic NLP modeling and looking for excellence. What is it that people are doing? What is it I can do? And putting it into practice and seeing where we go. And there are loads of things that we can do. So just think for a moment about your sleep. Do you evaluate it? Most people don't. So just think about your last night's sleep. How was your last night's sleep, and how did you wake up first thing this morning? Now, interestingly, knowing that we're going to talk about sleep, I had a near nightmare last night, and I've not had nightmares for a long time. In childhood and through my teens and 20s, I used to have nightmares regularly and got caught up in the habit of my dreams. But since I came to do the work that I do, I experimented and thought, right, okay, I want to have nice dreams. And so I kind of designed my dreams. So 99% of the time, I have lovely dreams. And last night's dream was an interesting one. And often what we have are the stories of our dreams. So what's useful to think about is the story of our dreams. And there are so many paths that we can go down. When I was studying psychology at college, we did a whole model on dreams. And it was the most confusing thing, because there were so many interpretations and so many different opinions. And one of the useful things to do is connect with, how am I feeling? And if there's a message in there, what could it mean to me? And then add into that, what do I want it to mean? Because sometimes if we've got a kind of like a shock or a nightmare, or it feels so real, and through the day, it can be challenging. It can haunt us through the day or even a couple of days. And in my work, I've worked with couples over the years, because I've been doing this for such a long time now. I've worked with couples who have had near divorces because one of them has had a dream about the other being unfaithful. And it was in my dream, so it must be true. And the poor partner has done nothing wrong, but it's then manifested in the mind of the partner, and looking for clues of infidelity, looking for clues that you don't love me, and then built this huge, and it was over weeks, it wasn't even over a long period of time, build this big mountain of the reasons why they shouldn't be together anymore. Or because of the way we let our dreams affect us. So we are in charge of this system. There is so much that we can do. We can change our patterns, we can change our habits. If we have unwanted behaviour that's not resourceful and useful for us, we can change that too. And I love working with young people, children, and helping them get on the right path with the best behaviour that's going to help them through life. So just think about your going to sleep. What is the challenge that you might have if you ever have a challenge? And there are so many different things. Hopefully next year I'm going to be publishing a book so that it's going to be all in there. But one of the things, nice and neat, we need to be relaxed. And we can have naps. If we need naps, we can have naps. And we want to understand, because some people will tell you that naps are the worst thing you can do. If your body needs it and works well with it, you can have a nap. And you can program yourself to have a very useful nap. So often we need a repair and maintenance schedule going on. So here we are at awake, then we fall into sleep, some maintenance going on, and then we come back up to the awakening stage. Now, if we get woken up down here, we have that shock to the system. So we might say, for example, I'm having a nap, or even if I'm going to sleep at night, I'm going to set the alarm for 7 o'clock so I can be at Wellbeing Wednesday. And so if we're down here in our sleep and it wakes us up, we have that shock to the system. And what we can do is we can program ourselves to wake up at the point where we wake up. And that is that difference that makes the difference. Interrupted sleep that makes us, it can even make us feel sick, give us headaches. We ask our mind and body to wake ourselves up just before the alarm. So if you set the alarm, your mind knows you've set the alarm for what time. So if you say, let me wake up a minute before that alarm, or 5 minutes before the alarm, or when my body has had enough sleep, then we can get a really useful, healthy routine and relationship with our sleep. To go to sleep, to fall asleep, we need our body to be relaxed. And I was talking to a client yesterday who, because of life, just doesn't consciously realize how much tension we build. And I'm sure Robyn's going to help us to dissolve any of those tensions ever so shortly, which I can't wait. Always love them. And so let's just try right now and just imagine scanning from the top of your head and just going down your spine and finding if there's any tension in your spine. Because often we can wake up in the morning and we can wake up with tension for whatever reason. So if you just actually find any tension, or just now take a deep breath and send an instruction to all the tendons and the muscles connected to the spine to relax, and just let them relax. Just send that instruction. You're in charge of you. Breathe and just send that instruction. And now whilst that instruction is carrying on, with every breath that you take, relaxing, because we'll be ready for any movement that's required in a very healthy, beautiful way. Now also go to your fingers and toes and just get your fingers and toes to be like, in my mind, soft marshmallows, nice, warm, and totally relaxed. Just have your fingers and toes totally relaxed. And whilst you're doing it, if you want to be falling asleep, have your eyes totally fixed on a spot. So your eyes are perfectly still. And when we're going to sleep, we can allow them to be looking down. As you probably remember with other Wellbeing Wednesdays, when we're working, for example, with EFT, the floor is the pool of emotion. So when we're working to help ourselves, we want to avoid unnecessary emotion. So we'll have our eyes lifted. When we're going to sleep, it's okay for our eyes to be dipping down, because that is feeling relaxed. So you can look down, eyes perfectly still, and take some nice big deep breaths and breathing out through your mouth. And that will help you relax. And when you hit a certain point of relaxing, you'll fall into a deep sleep. And we can instruct ourselves to have a great sleep using the right words. So using the words, I want to have a great sleep, a deep sleep, a repairing sleep. And if I'm to have any dreams, they're going to be adventurous ones where I'm always safe, always loved, always cared about. I'm always resourceful. I'm always winning. And we can instruct that to happen. So that is one of the reasons why I no longer have nightmares. However, last night was an interesting one that I went to the Trafford Centre, which is near Manchester, but it was Alton Towers as well. You know how dreams can be very special. And I was in charge of a group of kids, and one little toddler toddled off and couldn't find that toddler. And nobody was bothered. Went to the assistant. Oh, yeah, it happens. Yeah, what time? How long? Yeah, that's time for him to get on the tram. And yeah, that's time for him to be taken on a bus. And yeah, it was what happened. It's like, what? And so I woke up, and I woke up not knowing whether we found the child or whether or not we didn't find the child. And so if we wake up from dreams, we still have control. So what we want to do is create the ending that works best for us in our life, whatever that dream is. So in my mind, it gives me the opportunity to use my imagination. I can ask, is there anything I need to learn from this? And the kind of like, we can always learn something from everything. So it'll give a few little things. What can I learn from this? And then it's, okay, I'm now going to, in my mind, create the best ending, a celebratory ending. And then instead of being haunted for the rest of the day, I can actually have a sense of celebration, because our mind is an amazing search engine, better than Google. It goes, whatever we've got, whether it's an internal thought or an external experience, our mind goes into a search, and it's a search engine that just goes and keeps bringing all connected stuff. It's like a matchmaker. It brings stuff that kinds to match it. So if we've got negative thoughts, it'll go and bring other negative thoughts to just ruin our day, really, or change how we're thinking and feeling. So what we can do is go, no, I'm in charge of the search engine, and this is how it's going to be instead. So there's so much that we can do to allow ourselves to have good sleep, even if there's periods of time where there's a chunk of time. So recently I've travelled away, and the sleep and changing of the clocks just really kind of like caused a difference. We can recalibrate, we can reboot, we can reset ourselves so that we get onto our best place. And another nice thing that we can do as well is we gather stress, and in and around the eyes, we want all of this area to be nice and relaxed. And so what we can do is put a warm flannel or something that's warm, maybe one of these heat pillows wrapped in some soft cotton across the eyes. And that will actually help the blood vessels around the eyes relax. So it forces them to dilate and relax, and that can help us sleep as well. And it's a nice thing to do. So there's so many things. So one, we want to start with an awareness. What is it I want? And use the words of what it is. So instead of saying, and don't wake me up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and don't do this, and I don't want this, and I don't want that, we want the precise words. Just like if we're ordering from the universe, we want to order precisely what we want. I want the good things, pure words that will direct the ordering system to give us exactly what we want. And I know at the moment there's lots of wonderful abundance meditations going on, and it's kind of like, I don't want to be poor. The universe is hearing the wrong thing. I want to have enough financial security that keeps me happy, whatever that might be. So we want to be useful with our words and design our sleep and our dreams. It can be as simple as that. And then, of course, we can use other methodologies like EFT, meditation, self-hypnosis, so much, because without sleep, what are we like? And that's a useful thing to remember as well. If we're around people that we care about or that we work with, and we know that they're having bad sleep, we've got to be mindful that their behavior might change as well. And my last and final tip is the opposite. So if you've had a bad sleep for whatever reason over a few days and you're tired and you're in a meeting, how easy is it to go into that? I can't sleep at night, but I'm in this meeting that's so boring and everything's so heavy. And so we need a strategy. So we can just use the opposite strategy. Have you ever been in a meeting that is that boring? And often you're staring at the speaker. Now, remember, when your eyes are still, it stills the mind. And if you breathing nicely, it will help your body be relaxed. So often we can be like that. So we could be just staring at the speaker, and that can just, and you can feel everything just going on auto relax. And so a useful thing to do for those boring meetings is just have your eyes move around the room. Just quite simply, have your eyes move around the room and bring your breathing a little bit, not for long, but just a little bit higher into the chest. And have your eyes, and it will wake up your mind and it'll help you get through a boring meeting. Because I don't know if you, like me, have ever been in the meeting where you've done that and then you've gone and you don't know who's noticed. So there's lots of things that we can do to manage what is an amazing, incredible system, even if we are in the matrix. So there you go. That's it from me.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you. Yes, sleep intention is absolutely everything. I encourage rituals. That would be kind of, I suppose, where I would go. And your good night's sleep begins the night before, by setting your intentions, as Maureen said, and making sure that you've got all your bits and pieces. But I digress anyway. June. Are you into having a discussion, or are you presenting, my darling?
I'm asking questions.
Do you want answers?
I'm not. No, not necessarily. More questions would be great. Just that one question leads to another, doesn't it?
Does indeed.
But yeah, I have fallen asleep in meetings. Oh my God, it's so embarrassing. But you know what? It's the soothing voices. That's what I find really relaxing, is listening to someone's soothing voice. It's not that they're boring, it's that they've got a really soothing tone to their voice.
Yeah.
My grandfather, my mom's dad, had one of those voices that we listen to and go.
I think that's one of the reasons children love stories at night as well, because the voice of the mother just kind of lulls them into a sleep and into a dream world, depending on the story. Or if I know that Bruno Bettelheim recommends that you keep giving the child the same story that it requests, because it's working something out. And if you think about the child receiving that story just before they go to sleep, you kind of opening their pathways to kind of work on whatever it is that story offers to them.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I agree. Well, I don't know. I mean, I've been just thinking lately about beds.
I'm in mine.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. We probably ought to all be in our beds, but I just couldn't quite do that. Yeah, I stopped some time ago having an alarm to wake me up, because I realized it was jarring me, and I usually manage to wake up in time for things. Sometimes it's a bit of a skating woo. And it was this morning, it was particularly like, I'll just give it another 5 minutes. I'll just give it. And then, of course, you're doomed, because if you stay there too long, you just go back over and your body goes, oh, you mean I can go for a little bit longer even?
Yeah, one of the things that, in terms of
night terrors in children.
Clock,
yeah, Kerry.
One of the things with an alarm clock is we're actually, when we use an alarm clock, we're telling, and especially the snooze button. If you're going to use an alarm clock, use an alarm clock. But the snooze button, it's your first attempt at telling yourself you don't trust yourself. It's your first lie that you're telling yourself. So if you are using an alarm clock, turn off the snooze. If you want to wake up at 8 o'clock, set the alarm for 8 o'clock. If you want to wake up at 8:10, set the alarm for 8:10, because it's a really kind of subtle message, the snooze button, and a very big deceptor, I think, that people don't realize.
Really good point. Yeah. Well, I mean, what started me off was I don't know quite where these thoughts come from, you know what I mean? But I was thinking about all the beds I'd slept in my life, all around the world. It's like different places I've slept. And then I wondered, has that affected the sleep that I had, the kind of bed I was in, like what it was made of, who else had slept in it? And then I thought about hotels and all the people that have consistently every day, some beds, there's a different person in that bed, leaving some of their energy behind, wouldn't you say? I think. And it's like, whoa. And then you think about your own bed, And if you've been in it for years and years and years, I mean, I know there's dust mites and there's all that kind of stuff. They're kind of in a symbiotic relationship, but yeah, I mean, there's different qualities of bedding, and there's different qualities of mattresses, and then there's the whole thing about turning your bed over every so often and changing your pillows every couple of years or something. And then I got this wonderful, I thought, wonderful eucalyptus bedding, which is so soft and gorgeous. And you know, I'm a fan of doing things in as environmentally friendly way as possible. And so they claimed that these were, and now I'm not so sure, because what's turning out, the information that's coming out, is that bamboo, when it's made into cloth, they use a load of chemicals to break down the fibers. And so yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
I have a bamboo pillow.
I have bamboo socks, my darling. I know. It's just so I bought my son bamboo underwear. So,
it really emphasizes the need for just natural fibers, even when you think they're natural, to have a look at them, doesn't it?
well,
You know,
yeah,
and
but
so
you don't
much has
find out.
plastic
It
in
doesn't say on
nowadays.
the label we break the fibers down with chemicals. They're not
That's where
required to
cotton
say
comes in.
that, but people have discovered this. So I guess when you think about it, it makes sense, because bamboo and eucalyptus are wood.
Mm.
You know, cotton is already soft, but cotton, you know, they use a lot of water to grow cotton. It's not environmentally friendly in that respect, and they spray it a lot. So unless you get organic, which is really expensive, you know, and you know, little children are employed to pick it, and they suffer a lot and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, this is the way my mind's been wandering. And then there's the grounding sheets. And
I
then
was
what
just
do you
about to say,
do?
people are using earthing sheets now, aren't they?
Yeah.
I was just thinking the same, because we've got an affiliation with EMF, haven't we? Who supply things like that. Yeah, I'm just thinking about that.
And then there's whether you take crystals to bed or not. I had somebody come to see me the other day who said she was using a particular group of crystals, and one of them was clear quartz. And I said, well, that might be activating your mind a little bit too much. Just kind of put that one away and try having this blue one. What came to me was that she needed a blue one. So I gave her a sodalite. I can't remember now. But
what crystals would you take to bed? Not, you know, they might be a bit hard.
Well, it depends on the person. You see, this is the thing. There are so many crystals. So I would go to a good crystal shop and just feel what one speaks to you, and ask for a crystal that will help you sleep, because they do kind of jump out at you and say, take me. You know, I mean, amethyst is supposed to be good for sleep, and so is rose quartz, but it might not be. It's like lavender. It's not necessarily good for everybody. Some people have an allergy to it, you know? So you can't go telling everybody you have to do this and you have to do that. So night terrors in children, good point, Kerry. Good question. Because my granddaughter has had nightmares ever since she was little. And I know there are treatments that you can do for that, but they don't want me to do them. So yeah, I have given her crystals. I have given her a lavender pillow. I have sent her soothing messages through the ether, because we're quite well connected. And she is getting better, but I think now that she's working through something, and I always felt this, that she was an old soul, and that she was a bit bothered, to say the least, by what is going on. And yeah, she's crying for leaving somewhere beautiful come in. So even though my son and his partner are just absolutely lovely and adore her and are super kind with her, in fact, sometimes I think they're a little too little too like, oh yeah, you can do, don't do this. Oh yeah, now you can, confused messages. But she's very smart, and I think she's trying to work something out. I think children come with a lot of stuff from their previous life, plus the baby brings any stuff from the mom that they absorbed while they were in the womb, and they have to kind of work through that too. So it's a symbiotic thing. The mom can actually work on stuff for themselves and send them soothing. I would say that's one of the best ways. Or there are practitioners. Wow, yeah, well, yeah, and it's not always a quick fix, Maureen. Sorry, but it isn't.
Not always.
We don't want to give people that impression. Sometimes it has to, yeah.
Yes.
She's
Sometimes
coming up 4 now, and she's still crying, and
Yeah.
I have to accept this because she's got to go through the process. It's like the birthing process. I think she's also upset about that because it could have been different, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great experience for either of them, and so they're both still processing that, and it takes as long as it takes. But I think, yeah. What does anybody else know about beds and bedding?
Well,
Barbara's got gadgets. Barbara knows about stuff like this.
If I can throw in for the children in lockdown, there was a lot of children because of lockdown. Their sleep became full of terrors, in a wide variety of repeating stories. And I started writing just simple little stories with hypnotic language in to actually overturn, because before lockdown they slept beautifully well. And just even these bedtime stories, very quickly, one in particular, it happened overnight. It just rebooted his whole system to get back to how he used to sleep. So it's about trying and finding whatever works. But it was quite a nice thing to actually just have these hypnotic state stories that, and reassured that you're safe, that you're fine, and then plant it and so it is, because it's so awful. Paul, I mean, I used to as a child have horrible nightmares repeatedly, and it's not pleasant. So it's finding what works. And as you say, June, sometimes there's a process and then a realization and whatever happens. But it's finding, and it's keep searching until, because there are so many solutions. We just have to be good at finding them.
Yeah, everyone deserves peace.
Yeah, routine is kind of helpful as well. And I think preparation for sleep, and as I said earlier, that story finding, when Maureen was talking about story, absolutely set it, where children are concerned, kind of allowing them to choose a story that resonates for them. Baths, putting oils into baths before they get down, minimizing screen time. Absolutely, for children even more so than adults, minimizing their screen time prior to bed and creating those rituals, routines, whatever word you want to put on them, I think is incredibly helpful. And being there, and obviously if a child's having nightmares and terrors and things like that, there's something that they're trying to process. There's something going on that needs expression and needs space, and that again ties into the story that they read at night. Encouraging children to meditate, breath work. And that can start really early. I've worked in creches with introducing mindfulness to children, so that they can learn to start building their resilience and giving them tools and techniques. But I think routine is especially with Maureen mentioned, the start of the lockdowns, everybody's routine was thrown out. So creating new routines that can be sustained throughout adverse times and when things are okay as well, leaning into that kind of way of being that creates that positive dimming the lights, making sure that, you know, playing good music, like music, making sure that they are exercised and that they've actually this is not just for children, this is for all of us, that we have exerted our energies throughout the day. You know, I'm aware that I live a very sedentary life at the moment, so making sure that I actually have exhausted my body. An exhausted body, I saw a clip yesterday of a Tibetan monk saying that about how depression didn't exist years ago because people were too busy to be depressed. They had to do things and they were physically exerting themselves, and that they went to bed exhausted, you know, working your body during the day. And children, again, on the devices, get them outside, actually utilizing their energies so that they're physically exhausted. They've probably worked out a lot of stuff if they've been involved with others, although lockdown, many people wouldn't have put their children with others, but kind of making sure that they're given that space. I say that would be really beneficial to
Fresh
children and
air.
adults. Fresh
Fresh
air,
air.
absolutely. They say
You know,
that, don't
this
they? Oh,
is
the
it.
fresh air's knocked them out. There's that saying, oh, the fresh air's knocked
Yeah,
them out.
for
It's
sure.
absolutely true. Yeah.
And most houses are hermetically sealed now.
Mhm.
And there's no drafts, there's no, you know, and it is really tricky. But there's also the thing that in our culture, babies and children are left in their own room, you know, no matter what. They have to go to their room. And I'm going, why can't you just bring the child in with you? If
Yeah, we all used
there's
to sleep
nothing
in one
more,
room at one point with the
well, all
animals.
in the same bed. I mean, I've seen diagrams of this. This is hilarious. It goes to the whole two sleeps thing, and the whole, you know, that rhyme, 10 in the bed, and
And
the
the
little
little
one
one
said,
said,
roll
that's what I
over.
was just thinking about.
Yeah, well, they used to sleep apparently with the dad in the inside against the wall, the mum there, that no, or the other way around, baby in the inside against the wall, and then dad on the outside. Anyway, whatever. They were all in chronological order of age.
I had a friend and there was 10 people in her family, and the one who got up first got the best clothes.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
It was because you know, whoever got up first got the best clothes because they could choose.
So yeah, I mean, I think babies are still in their mom's aura until they're 4. You know, this is a thing, and and they don't understand why they have to be all by themselves.
I think
They
that's one of the crucial things when they're born. You know, your
Yeah.
baby is born and it's spent 9 months with you, and then you go and put it in a cot. No. And if you look at most ancient cultures, they actually wrap their child around them for quite some time, either on their front or on their back, and keep their child with them. Because well, that's an attachment issue straight. You know, your first attachment issue is the fact that you've come out, been cut off and put over there.
Yeah, cope with the world all by yourself. There you go.
Self-regulate yourself when you haven't even got a clue what the world's about.
Yeah, I know. So I'm not criticizing my young family, because they did have her with them for the longest time, but she was, yeah, in her own room for
Also, the way the world's been guided as well, if you think about it. You say we were all in one room at one point. Now we've got different bedrooms, there's central heating. Most rooms have TVs, you know, everything's just so separated. It is quite
Well, yeah,
phenomenal.
and there's a lot of electrical stuff around us in our homes. I think I've talked about
Turn
that.
off the Wi-Fi for a good night's sleep.
Yeah, you still got other people's Wi-Fi. In my house, there's all this overlapping Wi-Fi. There's about 5 or 10. You know, you're never going to get rid of it. I'm sorry. But the thing is, the houses themselves have got wires in them. My grandparents' day, there was no wires in the houses. There was no gas. There was candles when they were young, you know, which aren't really good for your breathing either. You know, there's that. But they had drafts. They had open fires. They had, air bricks. And then there's through draft. And they had loads of
June,
people.
I still have those. I live in a
Yes,
drafty house with open fires in the middle of nowhere.
yes. A lot of people still do, you know, and it's probably really good. But there was another thought there. There was 2 things. There was sleeping with with other people. Energy. I gotta get back to the energy thing. What is going on? I don't know anybody's going to have any answers, but I just want to raise the question and have you ponder it maybe about your bed and the beds you've slept in, and have you left a bit of yourself everywhere you slept? I have no idea.
Reclaim your energy.
Hmm.
You can
It's
reclaim your
interesting,
energy.
isn't
You
it?
can call your energy back. Yeah, yeah, you can call your energy back.
Hmm.
Absolutely. They say sleeping with a window open as well, you know, for the airflow can help. Making sure your room is cooler. You know, you're
Oh,
not
I know
supposed
what
to
the other
sleep in
thing
warm
was. It's
rooms.
about having your electrical gadgets switched off, because if you have them by your bed, they're disturbing. But also mirrors. Feng shui wise, mirrors facing the bed are a bit of a disturbance.
Isn't there something in Feng Shui as well about positioning your bed north to south for the poles? That helps with. I
Yeah,
don't know whether
there is different schools of thought about that, and I don't know if Robyn knows anything about that.
it's just something I've heard.
I always got told you ought to face the window wherever you are. Not have the window behind you if possible. So your feet towards the window.
I wonder if that helps with traveling as well, you know, because some people travel when they're asleep. They actually, is it astral projection?
Well, we all
do
actually do. Our astral body does leave, and that's why the mirrors are a bad idea, because as they say, the astral body catches sight of itself in the mirror and gets a fright. And then there's that, you know, that jerky thing that happens when you're just falling asleep sometimes. That is allegedly your astral body coming back in a hurry because it's not ready to go. It kind of goes out and then goes boom, and you feel like you're falling, right?
All right. Yeah.
It's really interesting. Yeah,
so
I think you shouldn't have your feet towards the door for sure. I've heard that, Robyn. Yeah, in feng shui.
Does anyone know why you shouldn't have your feet by the door, or
feet facing the door, because that's the way you take bodies out.
Yeah, there's all different.
So is that based in superstition rather than?
I think it's a superstition. I'm not sure, but the north thing, I think it depends on your own personal direction. You can have your own personal direction done with feng shui, and so you know you want your own best direction. My best direction is west, or aligned with my head in the west, or sitting facing the west. Hence, I'm sitting facing west more or less now, and my head of my bed is over there, facing the west. But it's by a window, so I'm not going to have the window open because I get in a draft. I'm susceptible to drafts, you know.
Drafts I don't have I've got enough drafts without having the window open. But fresh air, I think it's to do with the fresh air and
it is. If you can have the window open somewhere nearby, get some breeze blowing through. Yeah,
I definitely do breath work before, a little bit of breath work when I go to bed. And I've started to do belly breathing rather than just thinking about breathing in and out and I realized that it takes me into sleep, or a body scan meditation. I'm not a fan of putting headphones and things like that in your ears, but those, you know, once you've done one a few times, you can actually do it yourself and actually do your body scan. And it's rare for me to actually complete a full body scan without falling into sleep. But a body scan can be really useful. I know that there's lots of them online. I started with the UCLA ones, the sleep ones, for sleep, for body scan prior to sleep. So yeah, but breath work and meditation, but I try not to have somebody else's voice, or if you've got something going on, put it on a timer so that it turns itself off. Otherwise you've just got noise in your head all night.
Yeah, it's time for Robyn.
Yes.
Robyn.
Robyn, so I'm just distracted with my little dog. Morning, everybody. I've made a list of what everybody's been saying that I've actually done to help me sleep, because I've had insomnia for 30 years.
Wow.
But I don't know whether that's a belief of mine, because my mum had insomnia and my grandma had insomnia. So whether it's passed down through the generations or whether it's just my belief of that. So, but eye pillows is a good one. Yoga Nidra, so same as what you said, Helen, about the body scan. Yoga Nidra is absolutely brilliant, especially if you don't sleep at night. You can do it at any time when you've got 10, 20 minutes, and that helps you to deeply rest if you haven't had a good rest during the night or asleep. Also processing what you've done throughout the day before you go to sleep. I sit up now and I just go from what I did when I got up in the morning and try and remember everything that I did throughout the day. And that helps you to process your energy, and it helps you to ground as well.
That's actually an anthroposophical thing. They recommend doing that to clear your mind of the clutter of the things that you're carrying into sleep. So you go back through the day and you put it away. Of course, there's always that too, but you know.
That one, oh yeah, that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Screen time. So not watching anything like the news before you go to bed. Anything upsetting, because that gets your cortisol going, doesn't it? So you charge up instead of calming down. Don't watch the news in the morning either when you first get up, because you're still very susceptible to the energy that's coming in. So you don't want to bring that energy in first thing in the morning. You don't want to take it into sleep at night. I've got bamboo bedded. I'm absolutely gutted.
Well, I think once you wash it quite a few times, it's gone. I think that was, you know, sort of, oh yeah, sorry.
They do say to wash your bedding though before you put it on your bed.
Yeah,
you know, bedding, to wash
Never
it.
use
and
brand
that's
new
with clothes
bedding
as well. Apparently you're supposed to wash them.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Kerry's getting us up. Not Kerry, Robyn's getting us up.
But also, what you said about answers, I'd just like to read something so that I've got in my Energy Pathway book that I was gifted last year, about not knowing. So if you'd like to just connect, feel your feet on the ground, plug yourselves in, send them roots down into the earth, and connect to that yin energy, because the more you can connect to that yin earthly energy, calming, the more you fill yourself up with that. That helps you to sleep better at night as well. So exercise, connecting, getting out in nature, gardening, anything that's really, you know, you have that deep connection to nature and that yin energy. So this goes like this, and it's called the power of not having answers. In the darkness after Samhain, when we descend into dreaming, before the conception of the seed of the new year, hibernate, don't do anything, take a break, console yourself with time in nature, recharge, switch off, heal, hold the capacity to not know anything anymore, have no answers or bright schemes. It's where we need to go. Then the center will hold and the power will slowly slip back through the warm, dark space of utter unknowing. And there's a beautiful picture of a hedgehog in some lovely autumn leaves there. And
True Samhain was last night as well, Robyn.
Pardon?
True Samhain was last night.
Yes, yes. So, and that's called Dreaming into Stillness, the watercolour by Anne Thomas, and the poem is by Maddie Harland. So I just thought I'd share that with you because it's very apt, what we've just been talking about. Okay, so let's do some movement. So feeling your feet on the ground, about shoulder width apart. Again, getting that connection to the earth. Sending them roots down so you feel stable, you feel supported, you feel safe, balanced. And this is how you build up your resilience as well. So no matter what is going on in your life, whether it be lack of sleep or anything else, you've got that resilience. You can keep building up on that resilience so you can bounce back. So first of all, let's just go forward slightly onto the toes and then back slightly onto the heels in a gentle rocking motion back and forth. This helps you to get a deeper connection to the ground beneath you. But with the rocking motion as well, it's soothing. So anything that's soothing helps with calming the mind and helps with sleep. And then side to side as well. So feeling your feet, feeling the ground, coming into your body. So letting your mind have a rest by putting your attention in the opposite end of your body. Just nice and gently transferring the weight from one foot to the other. And then just slightly lifting the heel. So when you go to the left side, lift the right heel. When you go to the right side, lifting the left heel. Opening up the bubbling spring, that kidney 1 point underneath. And that helps to build up the foundations. Get some of that kidney energy working. And then coming back to the centre. Palms facing towards your thighs. Just having a little space underneath the armpits. And then let's do the twist. So this is my go-to every morning to help my body wake up, and the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments, all the tissues, and the joints as well. It helps to release tension. But also you could do this at night or in the evening, about an hour after your last meal, your evening meal. And let go of the day, let go of the tension from the day. So it's a good one for the morning, good one for the evening. In fact, it's a good one for any time of the day when you just want to just release, and it stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. It brings in that lovely relaxation response, calms, soothes, and release. Also with the tapping at the back and the front as well, you're just gently acknowledging, stimulating the muscles at the front, the quads, it's known, the lower abdomen, just above the pelvis, and gently tapping the lower back, just to release the tension there. And breathe. So obviously conscious breathing can help relax the body. So breathing in through the nose, breathing out of the mouth. And ha is the heart sound, so that can help release any emotion that might have built up through the day, the heart energy. Remember to just elongate through the spine as well. So from the crown of the head, lengthening up to the sky. And let's just slow it down until we come to a standstill. Let your arms just flop to the sides of the body. You'll notice as well when you're doing that where you're holding tension. So you might be holding it in your shoulders and your neck, and you will feel that. The more that you do that and allow your shoulders to drop down and just let go, the more you're going to release that tension from the body. Let's rub the hands together, activate some chi, warm up the hands, get the circulation going. So Helen mentioned about calling your energy back at the end of the day, the energy that you've given out. I think June mentioned that as well. And you can do this, but just by simply holding your arms up, like you're gathering your energy back, bringing it back into your body. And as you're bringing it in, you can squeeze the face, make a face and squeeze that energy in to the body. And you can even say, I call back all the energy that I've given away today. And then also you release anybody else's energy that you've picked up through the day. So opening up your chest, opening your heart, and then bring that energy back. I like to think of a sunflower or a lotus blossom, just opening up, releasing other people's energy, and then gathering your own energy back, bringing it back in. We'll just do one more of these, using the breath as well. So you breathe in as you open up, and then breathe out as you bring that energy back into the body and squeeze it in. Then release, let's shake out a little bit, so shaking away tension, just nice and gently. You don't need to be too active, especially before bed. Just very gentle. Just shaking the shoulders, nice and gently. Shaking the hips. Happy dog wagging its tail. My dog's looking at me as I said that. And just releasing through the spine, releasing tension all the way down through the legs, and then out through the feet into the earth. And for the energy to be transformed into new energy. And then just putting your hands on your hips. Let's do some hip swivels, because this is a place, the hips, the back, that can really hold on to energy and get tight. So we need to really open and mobilize the hips, open up the back, releasing nice and gently, and then the opposite way. It's like having a nice gentle lower body massage as well. And still remember to breathe. Then your arms at the sides, and we're just going to gently open up one side of the body with the arm, bringing it back, round, making circles with the arms. And this is good for the shoulders again, the trapezius muscle at the back, relaxing. Mindful movement, so breathing in, watching that hand as you come up. Breathe out, watch the back of the hand as you go down. And do the opposite side, breathing in, coming up, breathing out, going down. And your other fingers are pointing down to the ground to let that energy go down into the earth. And then just opening your arms like you've got feathers, just pushing down, opening your fingers, and just letting your head drop to one side, just over that shoulder. Have a little stretch down, that's the opposite side of the body, and then going down and round to the other side, releasing tension in the neck. Breathing in as you go to one side, breathe out as you go to the other side. And you're releasing tension all down the arms, out through the fingers. Now, if you've got neck problems, just be mindful of this. Don't push yourself too far. Don't push the neck. Just be nice and mindful and gentle. And I never go all the way around, because that can hurt your neck at the back, especially if you've got anything like arthritis or any spine problems. And then release the arms down. And then just imagine that you're sitting in an armchair. The palms are facing towards the back, towards the earth, connecting to that earthly energy. So I like the feeling of giving and receiving to the earth. So when I do this, I send gratitude down to the earth, just thanking her for everything that she provides for us. That nourishing, nurturing, mothering energy, the supportive energy. So I send that down deep into the earth, grounding, breathing, sending your love down. And I like to imagine that I'm sending it down to the heart of the earth. And then that heart energy comes back up through all the different layers of the earth, back up through your body, receiving. So the art of giving and receiving. It's just as important to receive as to give. Just breathing in and out, nice and gently, at your own pace. And that helps to build up that yin energy as well through your body. And then release the arms. We'll just do a few drawing down the heavens. So breathing in, rising up. Breathe out. Letting go all the way down into the earth. So this can help clear the mind. Clearing, you can actually do a little body scan like we mentioned before as you're doing this. Calming the heart, clearing and balancing through the body. So balancing the organs, bringing in that balance and harmony. And if you like affirmations, you can actually say things like, I clear the energy today, I let go of today, so that my mind and body can rest for a good night's sleep. Like Maureen said, tell your body what you want. Preparing my mind and body for a good night's sleep, a deep, restful sleep. So breathing in, breathing out, going down, down, down into the earth. And then just finishing with rest and digest, putting your hands one on top of the other, the Laogong points just underneath the navel. So your Laogong points just underneath the thumb and the palm of your hand, putting one on top of the other. Ideally, the hands ought to be warm, so you're warming through that part of the body. And I sometimes put a hot water bottle there, just to warm through, soothing, because hot water bottles are so soothing, they're so comforting when you've got a lovely fleecy cover on as well. And let that warmth and energy just soothe. So you're resting, you're digesting, you're replenishing at the same time. And you can fall asleep like that. I've very often fallen asleep like that. And then bringing your hands together, let's breathe in, bring some lovely energy into the day, into your body, connect to your heart energy, and let's just think about something that we're all grateful for. What are you grateful for right now? Gratitude is such a lovely quality, really helps your mood. So smiling in gratitude, smiling at your heart, smiling at your body, thanking your body for keeping you well, keeping you alive, and then give yourselves a bow. Well done, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Robyn. That was lovely. And the gratitude really reminded me that this is the first week of my 6-week adventure to you. They're recurring, but and the first week is based in gratitude. Yesterday, and when you were saying about receiving, yesterday's challenge was to become aware of how you receive, because a lot of the time when we receive gratitude, we kind of deflect it straight away. You know, it's like, oh no, I never, we diminish ourselves with kind of in a humble way, but we don't allow others to give us the gift, and we don't receive the gift, because receiving gratitude is a gift. So that just really reminded me about how do you receive gratitude. And so, yeah, thank you very, very much. Now, there's a couple of things which people are possibly talking about, which is oils and oily witches and things. So as do you need to screen share, June? Okay, yes. Let me get that sorted. But the beauty of gratitude, and even before sleep, kind of as you've gone through your day, being grateful for all of the, I don't seem able to give you the
Helen.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, I can't do that. I don't know what's going on. But offering, as you go through your day, as Robyn was saying, kind of offering gratitude for your day and the things that you've gone through, and it puts you into a nice mindset as well for sleep. And June is sharing the oily witch, so I will now stop talking.
Yeah, I think Kerry wanted to talk about actual essential oils. Claire isn't talking about oils. She is the oily witch because she does aromatherapy and she is a bit of a witch. And she does astrology. I'm having my Nessos done with her next week because it's my birthday next week on the new moon. I'm a weeny bit excited. I mean, in fact, I'm excited about this whole month, to be honest with you, because there's been so much talk about all these surges of energy. And apparently we had one last Saturday on the 4th. I didn't know until afterwards. And I had just felt this most amazing amount of love. A friend of mine did a concert and he just shared this most gorgeous music with us. And it just filled me with, oh, it was amazing. So another one is coming up on the 18th, and the third one is coming up on the 25th. So if people want to just watch out for that, it's apparently to do with things out there in the universe. All the astrologers are talking about this. And so yeah, I ate cheese last night. Here we go. Why would I always do that on Tuesday nights? It's not great. So anyway, Kerry, did you want to talk about oils specifically before we have Claire?
No, it's okay. I just wondered if anybody knew anything, or we could put a link in the chat. Just if we talked about crystals for sleep, and obviously lavender, but there are lots of different oils.
People are sensitive to lavender, so like I said, don't just willy-nilly go using lavender because you might get a reaction. Then there are other oils that people shouldn't use if they're pregnant or if they've got epilepsy. So that's the thing.
Just talking about crystals, this is my bedside lamp. It's a beautiful selenite lamp, and that I have to say that has helped, and it's got a lovely glow which you can't really see on properly, but that's my bedside lamp. And since having that as a bedside lamp, and also my salt lamp in my bedroom has aided with sleep.
Yeah, that's right. I've got a salt lamp. I leave it on all night, actually. Yeah,
it's got a lovely glow.
Okay, here we go. It's 11 minutes. Is that all right? We okay with that? Fire away. Oh, wait a minute. Sound. Ah, I forgot to do the sound thing. Wait a minute. Keep talking.
So I was going to say, while June does the sound thing, just in terms of, I suppose, thinking about your rituals and the messages that you're sending yourself, your routines prior to sleep. So I think we've got setting your intention, turning off all electrical devices, reducing your screen time. I suppose I'm doing a bit of a snap. Is it a synopsis of the whole session?
Yes.
Reducing your screen time, setting your mood, making sure that your room is conducive to sleep. That's another thing. Decluttering your bedroom is quite an important, and decluttering your house actually. But if you declutter your bedroom, is your bedroom a space that you want to be in, and is it the space that actually emanates a restful environment? Now, I'm not telling you all to get out and go and get new paint and whatever and decorate, but just think about the things. Is your bedroom a stimulating place or a place of calm, and does it induce you, does it invite you to enter into it, and you feel as you walk in that you're releasing? If you can actually, as you cross the threshold of your bedroom door, consciously release the day, release everything that's gone on, release any tensions. Kyanite is quite a lovely crystal. It's a rock. Don't put it near water because it is soluble, but it's very difficult to have negativity around kyanite. So just thinking about your actual environment. June, are you ready? And I'll stop waffling.
Yes. Selenite is actually really brilliant for clearing up stuff you've been carrying around from the past as well. And if it's next to other crystals, it can cleanse the other crystals.
All my crystals are in my bedroom. They are kind of covered, but they are all here. But the kyanite and I've got a beautiful piece of rose quartz. I've lost one, which is really not nice, but yeah.
They wander off. Okay, here we go.
Spray myself with my or a cleansing spray, so I'm in the right frame of mind to speak to you. Tonight is Sunday, the 5th of November. I'm doing this today because tomorrow I'm working all day and running a circle tomorrow evening. I run an online circle on a Monday night, and I won't be able to give this the time it deserves. So we need to talk about what's going on. Well, you probably want to know what's going on with time. And it's good news, really, because Venus is in Virgo and tomorrow trines with Pluto. So there's a lot of love about, and it means that we will do whatever we can to save a workable relationship. So if you're in a relationship which is healthy and for your highest good, then you can expect to find yourself doing things in order to keep that relationship going. And those things may very well be revealed in your personal shadow journey, which at this point in the month or the year is where exactly what you should be doing following this period of reclusion, is that a word? Where when you become a recluse, more of a recluse, to investigate how you've done for the previous year and what you wish to take in order to develop and grow. And so that might speak to parts of your primary relationship, learnings in that. The depth of your love is palpable. Love is really going to get prioritized on Wednesday as Venus enters Libra. That's quite significant, Venus going into its ruling planet, Libra. Single people are going to find themselves feeling more attractive energetically. In fact, everyone's going to feel more attractive and appear more attractive. There's this kind of like going on, and that will help kind of romance to blossom. So people you might previously have overlooked, or who have overlooked you, may suddenly see you in a different light and be like, ooh, hello. So watch that happening, because by Saturday you may find yourself doing things you've never done before in order to get the person you actually want. I just say with that, because passionate, sexy Mars is opposing Uranus, then it does make it easier to be bold about how we go about doing things and expressing our emotions, but we must practice caution so that we don't land up with regrets. So don't get kind of so carried away with the Mars energy that you do something that is so out of character that you can't live with yourself. That's always the premise, basically, with anything in life, is check in with how you genuinely feel about something and trust your feelings, not your mind, your feelings. We all have to live in a place of our feelings and how we feel about things. Thinking about things is one thing, but it's generally the feelings we need to lead by. Because Venus has going into Libra by Wednesday, there's going to be this desire for peace and redemption. So you may be finding yourself, as we do this personal work, looking for peace, looking to make peace. All of those kind of vibes are going to be coming up, and it's going to be really, really important to you and on the wider scale of the world. But I do prefer personally to talk about the personal journey. There's a lot of personals in that, but that's because I feel that if everybody just focused on themselves and getting themselves right, which is enough of a job, then everything would be a lot more in flow, basically. So we've got the new moon in Scorpio building for the following Monday. Now you might already be feeling the ripples of that. I certainly am. This is a very intense, powerful sign, Scorpio. This is the beginning of the reed moon. And this is a time of the ancestors, because the veil is thin and Reed really is, well, she's the goddess of the underworld. We say that she's the goddess of the underworld because she grows in water. She points straight up into the heavens above. The sound she makes as the wind rustles through the winds is the call to the ancestors. Wind instruments are used to call fairy folk in, to call in spirit, etc. So this is that time. The energy behind this is calling in ancestors, and that's for their guidance and support, or even their understanding to help you work out what's going on inside this heart of yours and the truth of what's in your ancestral bloodline. I may have talked last time about how I'm helping people with their nessus, which is the ancestral karma that we bring into this life, or we accept in this life, in our soul purpose, to try and help clear. There's a lot of that going on because we need, as a kind of universe, to clear the dense karma we've built up from being so disconnected from our spiritual selves. And so there's a lot of us that are volunteers in family lines to do that. I can't talk enough about that. If you're interested in investigating that within your own family line, then get in touch with me. I do a Nessus reading for you, and I'll explain what that means in a spiritual counselling session. And for those, I charge £75. So with the personal journey, there's kind of like, as you probably are experiencing, a desire for alone time. And please allow yourself to have that. Allow yourself to have the solitude, the space to just let those emotions come in, let those thoughts come in, because we can't, if we overpack our lives, create the space for the messages. They don't come forward, and we need them to basically come forward so that we can understand what it is that we have learned and what it is that we need to heal or let go of. All of this water around is no accident. It is an absolute representation from the elementals saying, stay indoors, get into the heart. Water represents emotions, cups in tarot. It's all about kind of your emotions, the way you feel. I can't stress this enough. We really need to move out of our minds into a place where we lead from heart's desire. And that's really, really going to be difficult. That's not how we have been taught that we need to behave. We understand that we need to control our minds. We need to lead from the mind. The mind is the one telling us, no, you need to get out of bed. No, you're not good enough. Da, 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 da. The kind of mind has got out of control, and we need to basically develop a better relationship with the mind, saying to the mind, you've definitely got an important place, you're important to me. Can I use you? This will say to mind, let's use you for visions, speaking to spirit, things like that. Perfect. You're really good at that and helping me find things and connect the dots. Brilliant. But we're leading from the heart, and that really has to come in. And so the water is an invitation to find out where all your emotional truths, traumas and stories reside. So allowing all of that in under the support of the Reed New Moon, the underworld goddess. She helps to maintain this balance between light and dark. When you go into your journey, go in and leave by the same path, please. I don't want you to get lost inside the depths of your emotion, which could be really kind of your misery, the depths of your own misery. This is not, we have to let the emotions out always, and we have to allow them to be there, acknowledge the importance in them, but not to get swept away in them for too long, because there's no purpose in that. That just becomes an indulgence, so be careful. And also I don't want you to get lost in it. So Scorpio is the sign of emotional depth and thus darkness, very powerful sign. I said that at the beginning. This moon, I said it's going to be intense. Use her energy to find, acknowledge and release those hidden parts of yourself, because we don't always know what we've got hidden, especially if we've been suppressing emotions for all of our lives, because we've been told we shouldn't be showing them, we shouldn't be feeling these things. And, you know, we feel things and we think that's at odds with kind of, you know, the image I have of myself. And it's like, no, allow that in. Give yourself permission. But please, elemental water is gentle, slow. You think about water, it's not always slow, but it finds a way, doesn't it? It just keeps going, just keeps coming back. And that's the message in all this water: gentle, compassionate, self-inquiry, not harshness. The harshness of the mind, the ruthless subconscious. So this is a moon of great vulnerability. If you can lean into her with trust and surrender, you will achieve great levels of personal transformation and healing. So I write all these things down before I say them, just so I can kind of make sure I cover it all, because there's always so much to say and we've only got a certain amount of time together. I hope that's been useful. Be well. Allow yourself to surrender. I'm here if you need anything, spiritual counselling or otherwise. Follow me on Green Oily Witch on Instagram, or no, that's Green Oily Witch on Facebook, Oily Witch on Instagram, or my website, oilywitch.co.uk. And if you need my support, get in touch. Blessings.
Thank you very much, June. And I believe this is our session ended for today. So thank you to everyone that joined us live. Thank you to everybody that has contributed. Thank you to everybody that's watching this on catch up. Please express your gratitude, rest well, sleep well, and we shall see you all again next week. Bye. How do I stop? Where has that gone?